Hey guys, tonight we're going somewhere quiet, too quiet, some might say. The trees will tower above us like ancient sentinels. The ground, soft with moss, will muffle your steps. And though the wind barely stirs, something moves just past the corner of your vision. You'll hear twigs break that you didn't step on, catch your breath fogging in a place far too warm for frost. You've come here looking for peace, but peace isn't what this place offers. You might regret pressing play. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And tell me, where are you listening from? And what time is it for you? Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. The forest hushes like it's holding its breath. You move slowly, one hand brushing ferns slick with dew, the other gripping the worn strap of your backpack. The dirt path narrows, swallowed up by dark green undergrowth. You'd planned this trip for weeks, just a solo weekend, a quiet escape. The woods had always brought you comfort, but not tonight. There's something not quite right. The forest feels denser, as if the trees have moved closer, not physically, not obviously, but the space between them seems tighter. The light fades faster than it should, melting into an eerie half-darkness, even though the sun hasn't fully set. Then you hear him. Beautiful evening for a hike, isn't it? His voice comes from just behind you. You hadn't heard anyone approach. Turning, you see a man, tall, lean. His flannel shirt hangs loosely over sun-darkened skin. His smile is wide, almost too wide, but it's his eyes that trouble you, gray, rimmed with something like frost. He steps forward, crunching leaves under heavy boots. He says he knows a good place to set up camp. You hesitate. You always trust your gut, don't you? Always. But not tonight. Tonight you're tired. The light's going. You nod, smile, follow. As you walk, he talks. Plants, birds, survival tips. His voice flows like a stream. Constant, placid, slightly too rehearsed. He points out claw marks on a tree. Bear, he says, but an old one. And then, unless it's not, you glance over. He's still smiling. You try to laugh, but it sticks in your throat. Around you, the woods seem to darken in sync with your unease. There's no signal, no path, and no turning back. He's guiding you deeper, off trail, past gnarled stumps and skeletal trees with bark flaking like dead skin. Finally, he stops at a clearing. A perfect circle, no fallen branches, no rocks, just soft moss and the scent of something metallic beneath it. You drop your bag, glance around. But where is he? The man is gone, only the forest remains. And silence. Well, no, not quite. There's something else now. A thrum, low and rhythmic, like distant drumming in the earth. It's almost imperceptible, but your bones feel it. That deep kind of sound that isn't heard so much as known. You remember an old folk tale, one your grandmother whispered to you when you were little, about the hollow men, forest spirits who lured the lonely into circles of moss to feed the roots. They sound like friends, she said. They even wear faces. But she always ended the story the same way. Don't ever follow someone who shouldn't be there. You're not sure what she meant then. You might understand now. Some believe it was all in your head, but what if it wasn't? The forest breathes around you. You want to move, but your legs aren't listening. The longer you stay in that circle, the heavier your limbs feel, like the moss has grown hands and is slowly pulling you into the earth. You tell yourself it's exhaustion, maybe a sugar crash, maybe adrenaline wearing off, but the thrum beneath your boots grows louder. You can't pretend you don't feel it now. It's pulsing in your spine, in your teeth, in your skull. Then you hear the whisper, not loud, not clear, just a soft sound, like leaves brushing against one another in windless air. And it's saying your name. You turn, fast, no one, but the whisper continues. Again, your name, softer, coaxing, like it's being sung through moss. Your flashlight flickers, even though the batteries were full. You dig for your phone, no signal, not even a bar. The screen lights up, and for a split second, you see your own reflection. Except the reflection isn't moving. It's you, but your mouth isn't open, even though you're breathing hard. Your chest isn't rising. It just stares. You drop the phone. It hits the moss without a sound. The air grows colder, not normal night cold. Cold like breath on glass cold. Cold like the warmth is being taken from you. You take a step back, and that's when you hear something move behind you. Something big. You don't look right away. You know horror movies. You know what happens when you turn around too fast. But your curiosity, it always betrays you. You slowly look over your shoulder. At first, nothing, just more trees, the clearing, the dark. But then, movement. Something is standing just at the edge of the circle. Not in it, never in it, just watching. It's tall, too tall, arms too long, head tilting with the crackle of bark. No face, not really. Just a stretch of pale, papery skin that tightens when it tilts. Its head moves like a deer's, but there's nothing natural about the way it lingers. And it doesn't blink. You can't see its eyes, but you feel them. They're looking through you, not at you. And then it takes a step back, melting into the trees like mist. Gone. But now, there's more whispers, coming from behind every tree, each one soft, overlapping like a choir of wet leaves. You think you hear a child, a woman, yourself. They're not saying words, not really, just pieces of things, phrases you know you've said, regrets you didn't say aloud, things no one else could have heard. Shouldn't have left them behind. You said you'd be back. You knew they were lying. It knows you. The forest knows you. And then you remember something. The man, his smile, his voice. Unless it's not a bear, unless it's not a man, you spin, grab your bag, heart hammering now. You step out of the circle, fast, and your legs work again. You're running now, tearing through brush, whipping past branches, not caring about cuts or stumbles, just running. But the forest has changed. The path doesn't lead the same way. Trees aren't in the same places. Your footsteps don't sound like yours anymore. They echo. They multiply. Something's running with you, or ahead of you, or behind you, or all three. The moment you break into a small patch of moonlight, you see it again, standing in the path, the same shape. But this time, it's holding your phone. Its long fingers tap the screen, and then your flashlight switches on again, but you didn't touch it. Then it speaks, not aloud, not with a mouth, inside your head. Leave if you can. You freeze. You run, even though it told you to leave, especially because it told you to leave. Because whatever it is, it doesn't want you to stay, but it really wants you to know something before you go. The flashlight in your hand starts flickering again, then stabilizes, pointing forward with a narrow beam of cold, white light. You keep it low. You don't want to see more than you have to, but the path is wrong. The trail that should have taken you back to the car twists in directions that don't make sense. You swear you passed the same tree 5 times. It has that same burl in the shape of a distorted eye, oozing sap. And then there's a sound. Not footsteps this time, not whispers. Laughter, a child's laugh. Joyful, pure, but it doesn't belong here. Not in this kind of dark, and certainly not alone. You slow, not willingly. Your body just starts to resist you, like something is turning your muscles into clay. You hold your breath. The laughter comes again, closer now. Then, from behind a tree not 10 feet ahead, something steps out. It's a little girl, wearing a white dress, dirty at the hem, blonde hair tangled with leaves, barefoot, and though she doesn't look hurt, she doesn't look scared, she just looks wrong. Her eyes are wide and gray, and when she sees you, she tilts her head with a twitch too fast to be natural. "Are you here for the game?" she asks. Her voice is too flat, too calm. You don't answer. You just keep your light steady. She frowns. "You're not supposed to leave the circle. That's where it's safe." You swallow hard. I didn't know." "Everyone says that," she says, interrupting. But then they forget, and then they see him. "See who?" She smiles, but it doesn't touch her eyes. "The one who watches." Something behind her moves, and suddenly her body jerks forward like a puppet on strings, and she's gone, yanked backward into the trees by something you couldn't see. There's no sound, no scream, just silence. You shine the flashlight into the woods, but there's nothing there now. No girl, no path, just more trees. You turn back to where you came from, but the trail is now covered in moss, fresh moss, as if you never walked it at all. Then something catches your eye on the forest floor, a scrap of paper. You pick it up. It's part of a missing person flyer, weathered, faded, a young man, smiling. The name is smeared, the date is old, but the eyes, they look familiar. Your light flickers again, and when it comes back, the flyer now has your photo on it. Same paper, same smile, but dated 2 weeks from today. You drop it, and when you do, the forest changes. The trees seem to lean in closer. The moss starts to rise, not dramatically, just slightly, like it's breathing. And now you can't hear the wind. You can't hear birds. You can't even hear your own breath. You're not alone anymore. But what's with you doesn't make noise. It makes silence, and it's standing right behind you. You feel it before you hear it. The pressure, the emptiness, then a breath on your neck. But it's cold. Not air, not moisture, just the idea of a breath. A voice follows, soft, ancient. "Found you." You spin around, ready to fight, flashlight raised, but there's nothing there, just trees. But something's changed. Every tree now bears a carving. Your name, again and again. Some fresh, some older, some so old they've grown over, and below every one of them, a date, all of them in the future, all of them, death dates, but not yours. People you know, people you love, and beside one, barely visible in the bark, your flashlight shines across it. You never left. Darkness swallows you, not like night, more like ink, thick, suffocating. It coats your skin, your lungs, your mind. You're standing, somehow, somewhere. The ground beneath your feet pulses like a heartbeat. You're not alone. You hear it first. Breathing, shallow, animal, close. Then light returns, not from above, from the fire. You're back in the cabin, but it's changed. The walls are gone. The roof too. You're in the clearing again. But the fire burns strong. The 7 masks float above it now, circling, each one facing inward, each one whispering your name. You don't remember telling them, but they know. The girl is gone. In her place, on the ground, the knife, still warm, still waiting. You move toward it, not because you want to, because you have to. Your hand closes around the handle. It feels right, too right. You turn, and the masks follow. Spinning slowly, they begin to descend. One by one, they land in a circle around you, pressing closer, hovering inches above the soil. The ground begins to crack beneath them, forming a ring of exposed roots and bone. Inside the circle, something rises. A stump, carved flat, marked with grooves and names. Some you recognize, some you wish you didn't. One is yours. It wasn't there before, but it is now. You glance at the knife, then back at the stump. You know what it wants. Not just a name, a sacrifice. You hear the voice again, this time from inside your head. One must wear the mask. One must feed the root. One must remain to keep the others free. The rules, you didn't know them before, but you do now. You look at the masks. Each is different. Some broken, some beautiful. One looks like your sister. You hear her laugh, distant, happy, then choked. You don't know if she's dead or if she's still here. You look at the knife. You have 3 choices now. 1, cut your name from the stump. Erase yourself. You'll never leave, but the forest won't take anyone else. 2, add someone else's name to the stump. Anyone, even someone who's never been here. The forest will release you, but claim them. 3, put on a mask. Become part of the forest. Not gone, not alive. Something in between. The fire surges, the countdown finishes. 2, 1, then silence. Just the sound of your breathing and your hand tightening around the knife. You make your choice, and everything begins to change. You make your choice. The forest listens. It always does. The stump groans as if alive. Bark splitting, roots curling. The knife in your hand glows red hot, not with heat, but with meaning. Old meaning. Ancient. You kneel. You press the blade to the wood. Not like carving, more like unmaking. The moment your decision is etched into the stump, everything shifts. The wind stops. The fire dies. The masks fall still. Then they scream, not with mouths, with memory. Each one explodes in a flash of light, revealing glimpses of lives they've consumed. A girl burying her dog under the willow, whispering that she'd given anything to see it again. A man kneeling in the same clearing, holding a child's shoe and weeping. A woman tracing the words, "I'm sorry," into the dirt with trembling fingers. A boy with your eyes, wearing a different name. All of them, bound here by choices, just like you. The last mask floats toward you. It doesn't explode. It stops, hovers, waits, then it speaks, not with words, but with feeling. You are not the first to choose this. You will not be the last, but you will forget. You reach out, not to reject it, not to accept it, just to understand. And when your fingers touch the mask, you're gone. Somewhere weeks later, a search party trudges through the woods. They find the cabin, what's left of it. They find your pack, your phone, your journal, halfway burned. The last entry just says, "Don't follow the girl." They never find you. But sometimes, when the wind dies and the trees lean too close, campers whisper about a figure in the clearing, wearing a mask, holding a knife, watching, waiting, because someone always stays, and someone always comes next. You wake up in a cabin, alone. The windows are fogged, the doors ajar. The fire burns low, but you don't remember lighting it. A journal sits open on the table. The last entry says, "If she knocks, don't answer. If the fire dies, you're already hers." Just then, 3 knocks at the door. You freeze. You grip the handle, heart pounding. The fire behind you crackles, then hisses, as if trying to warn you. But something pulls you toward the door. You open it. A girl stands barefoot on the porch. She's maybe 10. Her dress is soaked. Hair clings to her face like seaweed. She smiles, but her eyes are wrong. Too dark, too wide, too empty. "You left me," she says. "Now it's your turn." Before you can react, she reaches out and touches your chest with a finger. It's cold. Not like snow, like deep water that's never seen sun. You try to speak, but your lungs burn. You fall to your knees, and then you're back. You wake up in the cabin, alone, again. The fire is burning. The door is ajar. The journal is open. This time, the entry reads, "Don't open the door twice." And then, 3 knocks. Again. You let the fire die, not by accident. You sit and watch the flames shrink until they're just red veins pulsing in ash. The room grows cold, not just chilly, grave cold, the kind of cold that soaks into your teeth. And then, the cabin begins to breathe. Walls expand, contract, like lungs. The floorboards groan. The shadows stretch longer than they should. You don't move. You hear it now, her voice from every crack in the wood. Finally, you're listening. The journal slams shut. A wind blows in from nowhere, and the ashes of the fire swirl up into the air, then form shapes, figures, people, hundreds of them. Some whisper, some scream, but all stare at you. Then they fade. On the hearthstone, something is scratched into the soot. She's not the girl. She never was. Burn the house, or let her wear your face. You whisper, "End." The air stills. The cabin freezes mid-breath. Even the shadows seem to stop stretching. Silence. Then, a low chuckle. Not yours. Not human. You think you choose when this ends? The journal bursts into flames. The door swings open on its own, and from the darkness beyond, she steps in, not a girl, not a ghost, something older, hungrier, wearing the shape of what once begged you to help. She leans close and whispers in your voice, "We start over when I say." Game over, but not for her.